Alrighty, fellas, good morning. The bits and Twitch gifted subs are already flowing. Why do I look so blue? Is that all the monitors? We're looking crazy today, fellas. Good morning. How are we doing today? My name is Patrouski, and welcome to the PokeMMO STREAMATHON. I like to do these at the end of every single month where I take a sponsorship, something like HelloFresh, something like Factor. When you guys support me through that, allow me to do this, it allows me to be a full-time content creator at all, allows me to work on doing amazing projects like the Iron Man account, and then encourages me to do giant, massive, super long streams like this. Today, I will be streaming for at least 14 hours, and then 14 hours tomorrow, and then Tuesday is where I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to do 14 hours Sunday already, 14 hours Monday, and then Tuesday it will depend on how much people support. We have 9 minutes of already unadded time. We have 28 hours on the timer to start this stream. If you want to extend the stream and make it last even longer, you can use HelloFresh. Link in the description. HelloFresh sub. Yeah, it's a full day stream. My rule is with the streamathon, I stream 14 hours in a day, and then I take 2 hours to, shower, get a walk in, get some exercise, take stretch breaks every few hours, etc. So allows me to live a somewhat healthy lifestyle while still playing a lot of PokeMMO, and then obviously 8 to 10 hours or so to sleep every night, and then come back and stream 14 more hours. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it here very soon. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to get to, I'm sure, and plenty of time to do it. I'm in no rush today, which honestly just feels amazing. That's not usually something I'm able to do, right? First things first, let's cover what we have planned for today alone. I'm starting on my Iron Man account with a gym rerun. I will then be working on legendary hunting. I only have 2 days left. I have 2 days left, the next 2 days, which I'll be streaming 14 hours a day to get both legendary Pokemon. I still don't have Articuno. I still don't have Raikou. I'm going to be working aggressively trying to get those legendary Pokemon in the final 2 days, and if I miss them, I'm gonna have to wait 3 months to ever get them again. And then also we have our typical event stuff to go ahead and go through. Let's go over to it. Shiny Wars, a giant emotional roller coaster on this recently, but the TLDR is that it is back to its original dates. Shiny Wars is coming up. This is the Super Bowl of shiny hunting within PokeMMO. It will last from July 11th to August 8th. Signups begin July 2nd. You do have to sign up for this event and make sure you have everything rounded out with that. More information over on the PokeMMO official forums. We have 2 catch events today. Okay, we have a Spoink catch event at June 29th, so today, at 12 p.m. ET. This will be in about 2 hours or so. We will be going to that. Jagged Pass in Hoenn. And then there's a shiny Spoink prize there. We also have a Sinnoh Safari catch event today, later today. Unfortunately, super unfortunately, I cannot go to this one. I don't have Sinnoh done as a storyline. Pretty bummed about that. I would have loved to get that done in time for this, but the cards did not line up. So unfortunately, no Sinnoh catch event for me today. And then coming up, if you're watching the recap, you can still see Sunday the 6th of July, there is a cute little Polyworld catch event coming up. Really good catch event for Iron Man account. There's not a shiny prize, and it's kind of, just a Polyworld. Sounds harsh, but it's just a Polyworld to be honest. And, it's 1,000 RP though. I think this is a good event where a lot of main accounts might not show up to this, but Iron Man can and will for that chance to win RP. When there's less people at an event, you have a higher chance to win. I need to go ahead and start the timer. We're going to be here for 28 hours. Excuse me. I better start that freaking timer. So there we go. The timer's officially started. So that is that catch event coming up as well. And I think that's everything we needed to cover today. I can just go ahead and start playing the game and making ridiculous amounts of progress on the Iron Man. We are starting at 369 hours played. I'm excited to see how many hours played we have when we end today's stream, and then end the streamathon in totality is going to be ridiculous. Let's jump into some grinds, fellas. Thanks for joining me today. This is such a great question, Pecanzo. I can't imagine taking a break from the game and seeing what's happened. What caused Ditto boxes to go from 220k to 320k? I have not played in a while. I mean, the short answer is just obviously supply and demand, but there's a long answer there that's really interesting. The history of the Ditto box price is one of the most interesting ones in PokeMMO. So a while ago, that's like 1 out of 20 factors, Harry. There's a lot of things to factor in. So a while ago, Ditto boxes were actually, people are saying netball nerf in chat, prior to repeat ball nerf. So this is 4 years ago, I want to say. Ditto boxes were 180k. Right? Ditto boxes used to actually be 180k, and then it was a big deal I used to buy Ditto boxes all the time for 180k. It was a big deal when they got upped to like 200k, and then eventually 220, and like 240 was seen as extortion. And then what's crazy is overnight they went from like 240 to 300, and that was what was really crazy. And now it's like 300 to 320 depending on mail and stuff like that. Now they're probably rising in price right now because Shiny Wars. People are, so right now they're even rising in price because of Shiny Wars. But Ditto boxes, what's happened, there's been a lot of factors. There's been Pokeball meta changes and nerfs. So like repeat balls, way back in the day, 4 years ago, repeat balls used to be the meta at Dittos. People forget, people weren't there. Repeat balls used to be the meta. And then there was a big Pokeball rehaul that buffed certain Pokeballs, like Dust Ball, Net Ball, a lot of things, right? Timer balls were buffed, etc., etc. And because before you couldn't have a catch rate over 2.5 times, right? And then so everything was buffed a fair bit, and then prices didn't go down, which was crazy. But it's because what happened was over time people have just gotten more serious about PokeMMO, right? Generally before, egg hunts were reserved, and still kind of are reserved, for the richest of richest players. Egg hunts are shiny hunts that cost over 150 million Pokeyen and take like 1,000 to 2,000 hours. And over the past 4 years or so, since 2021, PokeMMO's gone through such a massive renaissance. There are so many more serious players, and so many more players who are willing to put the time into and the Pokeyen into pursuing those super rare shunts. Back in 2020 and 2021, a lot of players didn't even know that egg hunts fucking existed, right? Egg hunts were like only this thing talked about in really advanced, really experienced teams. There's just been such a spread of information, a spread of motivation, a spread of drive, which affects the demand severely, as well as all these things like the Ditto method changing, the catching, the Pokeball. There's just so many factors, right? We had the netball buff that made netballs broken, and then we had the netball nerf, which made Dust Balls the best ball, which put it back to where it was prior to that. Like, there's been so many things. We've had like, I want to say 6 different Ditto catching methods in the past 4 years. Like, it's really, really, really crazy. Shiny War, there's so many factors. Shiny Wars have taken off. Shiny Wars weren't really a thing 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago, like, only Team Mister is the creator of Shiny Wars, right? And now we have an official Shiny War, the second ever official Shiny War coming up, which is really increasing the price, right? So we have things like other teams, massive amounts of teams doing Shiny Wars, the official Shiny Wars, Shiny Wars being around for more years, increased like serious players. There's a lot of factors to consider. It all comes down to supply and demand. There's just like a million different factors as to why the demand is higher and why the supply can't keep up with. I don't want to say the supply is lower. If anything, the supply is driven up with the demand, just not at the same pace, right? There's just less players who are farming Dittos for profit than hardcore dedicated shunners who, when you think about it, need 30,000 Dittos per egg shiny. That is a lot of Dittos. There's people like Awk with 10 plus egg shinies. That's 300,000 Dittos for one player. Like, whew, you need a lot of Dittos in PokeMMO. So go farm them up. I think farming Dittos generally makes around 180, maybe like 200,000 Pokeyen profit per hour. It's pretty AFK and brain dead, which is the main benefit. It's just very expensive. The problem is Ditto farming, you need a lot of Dust Balls right now, so it costs a lot of Pokeyen. And repeat balls after you catch 15 of them. If you want to switch to that, it saves 100 Pokeyen per ball, but it's very expensive to jump into Ditto farming to some extent. So you need a lot of Dust Balls. Dude, yeah. KG in chat, people are talking about like, being excited for an encounter counter, an in-game official encounter, which has been confirmed by the devs. They're working on it. It might come out in early July, or it might come out in August/September. We'll have to see. But they're working on an in-game encounter counter, and it should hopefully be coming up. It's being under-talked about how many players play only on mobile, or how many mobile players there are, and like how many of those players have never had an encounter counter because it wasn't technologically possible for a long time, right? How many players are going to get into shiny hunting for the very first time because of encounter counters, right? Like an in-game encounter counter. I always say, I don't know if I would shiny hunt nearly as much without an in-game encounter counter. I probably wouldn't. I know that I wouldn't, right? It didn't exist for a while, right? An in-game encounter counter is like so crucial to your ability to grind, because otherwise it's just such a fruitless grind. Shiny hunting is brutal because you run back and forth, and you could run back and forth for 16 hours and then go to sleep and see no progress, right? But with an encounter counter, at least you see the progress, even though it's not really progress, the progress of the encounters, and that keeps you mentally going, right? So it's really important. The encounter counter is essentially a mental trick to keep track of like where you're at, what you've done, to show you something you've done, right? And it's crucial for shiny hunting. The only way you lose shiny hunting is by giving up. So I'm really excited for an in-game encounter counter to introduce so many new serious shiny hunters to the game. All right, fellas, the catch event has officially begun. I'm going to be on false swipe Pokeball duty. It's not the most efficient strat, but it's still okay. I will say I calced it, and it said that false swipe into Pokeball was 100% catch rate. But obviously that did not work. So that sucks. Okay. I might actually nest ball then. If that's not 100%. The calculator is wrong. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Or I could just misclick and run. It's going to be a great catch event, fellas. I cannot wait. All right, the Spoink catch event is now over. I don't really have anything worth submitting, but I do want to go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Someone in chat was asking what it looks like to submit a Pokemon. So I'm going to go ahead and sort by total IV over here. And then head over to this box as well and sort by total IV. And then see, I don't think I have anything worth, but what's my lowest? I'll just grab something, I guess. 70 we see there. Our lowest is 0.59. I've got nothing, but what's this one? 125. Yeah, my high just for the sake of it. Machop's not even I can't even submit Machop. Okay. What I'm going to do is I won't actually submit one, but I'll show you guys what it looks like, okay? So what you would do if you're new to PokeMMO, you don't know how to submit. I have videos on this as well, by the way, but I'll show you guys really quick. You would go over to global chat. So you'd open up global chat and go find a GM, a CM, whatever, that says taking entries. You just scroll over global chat, find like, okay, call me sensei, taking entries. You would go ahead and whisper them, and you would say, here's, or you would say, you would drag the Pokemon over from your party over to it and say, here's my entry. That's it. That's that simple. That's all you got to do. I'm not going to send mine because it's not actually a good entry, but that's what you would normally do. Hopefully that helps you out. That's the catch event done. I'm going to go sort my boxes a little bit while we're waiting for catch event results. Got to always release stuff on the Iron Man. Very, very important. All right, we got two things to happen. Number one, releasing all of these Pokemon, boom, on the Iron Man account. Absolutely huge. We love clearing our boxes around here. We're going to move these over to the other boxes really quick as well. And then sort by total IV. Beautiful. And then next up, catch event results. Fourth place goes to someone in Thrice. Dude, Thrice in chat. Congratulations, man. Let's fucking go. Thrice with a big score of 19 got himself the fourth place win. Congratulations. Do we have third place yet? Third place, 169. A little bit higher than average normal score. 169 third place. Caresol, congratulations. Congratulations. We're waiting on second place announcement. But then second place with a 170 is As George, I think. Oh, we're spoiler alerting. We have a tie for second and first place. Second place, 170 is As George. Congratulations to you, dude. And then in first place, off a tiebreaker. So third place, 169. Second and first, both 170. Pretty intense event. Luca, congratulations, guys. That is the Spoink catch event done with. Congrats to all those who participated. I had a lot of fun. Got some good breeders, sorted things over a little bit. I'll see you guys at the next one. Let's go ahead and get back to legendary hunting for a little bit. I'll definitely take a break and do some EV training. We have a lot of Pokemon, the competitive mons to make throughout the STREAMATHON, so I definitely want to do some EV training and stuff at some point soon. But for now, let's go try to look for that Articuno, man. Chat, we are officially about 1/3 through the STREAMATHON on day one. Woo! 1/3 of the way there, boys, for day one, and then, you know, day two. We are officially, our timer is under the 24-hour mark. Beautiful. We have only less than a day left to stream, guys. Not even a big deal. If you want to make that timer go up, Twitch subs and HelloFresh subs are the best way, and bits and stuff like that count as well. I've got a niche Pokemon question. In some of the games, if you have a fainted Pokemon in the first slot with an ability that affects outside of battle, aka pick up Flame Body, does that work? It does not work in PokeMMO. Great question. It used to, because I played a lot of catch events like this. Back in the day, it actually used to be meta to, what you would do is you would, every time before a catch event started, you would lead with your synchronized Pokemon, and then you would kill it in like a wild fight on purpose, and you could have that dead synchronized Pokemon in the front of your party, and then just use your catching Breloom or catching Pokemon for all the fights, and you would get the synchronized buff as well as be able to use your catching Pokemon. And that was how the game worked for a very, very, very long time. So you actually used to be able to do that, but that does not work anymore in PokeMMO. If your Pokemon is dead, you do not get the out of battle or OOB ability. Great question. Here, someone asked me if there was any breeding simulators for PokeMMO to like help plan out certain complicated breeds. And there are, I think on PokeMMO Hub, for example. However, they're so complicated. Like it's cool to like show how much Pokeyen they cost, like how many Pokemon you'll need. That's the cool part, dude. If you can look at this and understand what is happening and decode this, hats off to you, dude. More power to you. This shit is so confusing to me. As someone who's played this game for 10,000 hours, done tons of breeds for profit, my brain cannot compute this. Like color coded. No thanks. I'd rather just make mistakes in my breeds and have to fix it than yeah. So for whoever that clicks for, more power to you. That's awesome. I honestly like respect that so much. I mean, it's like a not for me, not for the type of person I am, is what I would say. I respect those for who it's for. That's awesome. Definitely not a tool that I can use appropriately. Someone got himself a wild Shalpha today in global chat, dude. Congratulations, GG, I'm assuming. This was caught about 20 minutes or so ago from today's Alpha Swarm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is beautiful, man. And this is, I always say, you technically don't have to Master Ball Shalpha, because you can like get, a lot of the time doesn't run out, you can catch it, but like, you might as well. I understand, like, this is not one where you would like worry about this. It's worth it. It's an amazing wild catch, amazing Shalpha. Congrats, Ninetales too, a very, very big fan favorite for a lot of people. Congratulations, man. It's a beautiful Shalpha. Here, honestly, this is like an interesting talking point. A lot of people in chat are talking about, you know, the whole Shiny War thing. If you don't know, Shiny War, they delayed Shiny War, and then that fucked with a lot of people's schedules and timing, and there was a lot of outrage, and then they reversed that. There was a whole lot in between that, but they delayed Shiny Wars and then reversed the delay and then yada yada. And I agree. It's something that I've said for the past 4 years. I love the PokeMMO devs. They make an amazing game. I love their game. I think they're genuinely geniuses. They do a lot of things amazingly. I don't want to harp on them all the time and focus on negatives, but there's also important, healthy critique to be given, right? The biggest thing that I've said for the past 4 years, 5 years, still is the case. The biggest problem is the lack of communication. If there was something like a Shiny Hunter tier council, similar to there is for PvP, there's a PvP tier council, right? If they could hop in the Discord and be like, hey, Shiny Hunting tier council, how do you guys think the community would react if we delayed Shiny War, right? And then everybody would have been like, that's a terrible idea, don't do that. Like that, I think something like that would be really nice, because sometimes it is really hard to be a developer, sometimes you just lose perspective, and I do think that I don't like to assume that, but like, it's hard to tell. I think it's partially they underestimated how much people put into Shiny War and how important it is. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I think it might have just inherently been the case here. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, honestly. I think they had a small part of the passionate player base, the Shiny Hunter tier council, to go talk to. I think it could have avoided all of this. If they just asked some people ahead of time, communicated, hey, how do you guys think people would feel about this? I think it could have squashed so many problems, you know? And then how do we actually go about solving this then? I didn't even think about that. Someone said, hey, I'm in Sky Pillar. I'm looking for the Sableye spawn. That's, you know, why am I only seeing bayonets? And it depends on the floor you're on, right? And I wish the Pokedex, I've always said this for years, I wish the Pokedex said that. A good example is like the Hitmons, right? Like Hitmonlee. It's in Victory Road and Kanto, yes, but there's like one of each Hitmon on each floor in that Victory Road. So you have to like be on the right floor to find like Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee, or I think Top might even be there, but I'm not sure. Yeah, like there's 3 of them all there on floors, but only one of each on different floors, right? Which is a pain in the butt to figure out which one's which to actually get for the Pokedex. So I would love, that might be like one of the, my dream would be that's one of the small quality of life updates coming up. Dude, that would be so sick in early July. It'd be really cool to see an extra little Pokedex rehaul. Wait, we're watching this old PokeMMO video as a meme? This is one of the only guides that existed for PokeMMO back in 2014. And it's like how to shiny hunt. It's showing donator status. Wait, did anybody realize they lowered the cost of donator status throughout the years? I never realized this. 30-day donator status is 1500 RP. Back then, it used to be 2500. There is like no reason to do this aside from like, that's so crazy actually. I've never noticed that. That's a really big deal. And I don't think the cost of RP has like changed or anything. I could be wrong, but I've never known that. That's so crazy actually. I'm gonna keep watching this video for fun. That's another amazing point to skirt. When people complain about like the current day Pokemon animations being like so long, bro, watch this shit. Like these, also look how many steps he has to take. Look how long this entry is to this fight. It used to be so much. Now, that does not mean like, oh, like because it was worse in my day, like you guys should. That's not what I'm saying, but it's pretty crazy. Like, it used to be so bad. It used to be so much worse. It was a really crazy time to play Pokemon, man. It was a different game. I was saying we used to EV train like this. We used to run back and forth and kill Ghastlies one by one with a super low and we couldn't bike, we couldn't run. You would just walk back and forth here and kill Ghastlies, and that was how we EV trained for special attack. And it quite literally took like 16 hours to EV train like 1 to 5 Pokemon. It was insane. Like this was like you dreaded EV training because it would take weeks. Versus nowadays it's 30 minutes. It's so crazy, dude. Sorry, we're on like the old PokeMMO just like nostalgia rant and discussion. It's interesting to hear about how different the game was. Back in 2013, like Pokeyen wasn't really, I forget if it wasn't tradable at all, or like the cap was really high. Pokeyen wasn't the currency. It was lucky eggs. Lucky eggs were not a consumable item, so everybody needed them, right? To double your XP, right? Lucky eggs, so lucky to the economy. But for things like EV training, paying someone to like EV train and XP train Pokemon was really profitable, but you couldn't pay someone a lucky egg that was worth too much. Like one lucky egg was equal to like one shiny. That's how like unbelievably like rare and expensive lucky eggs were, right? Certain shinies were worth more. Like shiny Ponyta back then was like 5 lucky eggs, but that was because it was like much rarer than it is today. Tentacruel was like a good like 1 lucky egg shiny, right? So, okay. Back in the day, a common currency aside from lucky eggs was like TMs. TMs were really valuable back in the day in tutors because you'd only get 1 per account. Alt running used to be one of the most powerful money-making methods in PokeMMO because let's say you learned Earthquake, okay? Earthquake TM, right? How many Pokemon in your boxes right now know the move Earthquake? How many of them did you use a TM on and taught out Earthquake, right? Probably, I don't know, 3 to 5, right? That's 3 to 5, maybe at least, right? That's 3 to 5 alt accounts you would have had to run or pay someone for to get the TM Earthquake. Because you would only get 1 Earthquake TM after beating Giovanni, I believe, in the Kanto storyline, and that was it. You got 1 Earthquake TM per account. So there reached a point where like 1 Earthquake TM, I remember when they eventually introduced Pokeyen and allowed you to trade Pokeyen and stuff. This was before TMs and stuff had changed. At one point, Rock Slide was like a 75k TM. At one point, Earthquake was like a 100,000 Pokeyen TM, right? Like, things were fucking crazy. Because, like, Swords Dance Tutor, back in the day, the only way to get Swords Dance, there was no TMs or whatever, is some Pokemon learned them naturally, but if it didn't learn them naturally, you'd have to tutor Swords Dance onto it, and Swords Dance, you'd have to tutor it over by like there's a guy I can actually show you right now. I think it's a guy on island, it might be island 6 or 7. There's a little bridge. I think it's 7. There's a guy right below south of island 7. So you had to like this guy. I think this was Swords Dance or something like this. Let's see if he talks about it. Yes, the fact that I remember this is because this is how important it was. You'd have to replay all of Kanto and do all of the storyline runs, and if you did all that, you would get 1 Swords Dance tutor, and someone would have to trust trade you their Pokemon and get you to teach Swords Dance onto it, and this shit was expensive. This shit was valuable. This is why back in the day, we saw so many shittier comps than we see now. You would see like Scizors without Swords Dance, not because it was ideal, because they just couldn't afford them. Because they couldn't afford to pay someone to get a Swords Dance. Like, that's how much. But nowadays, you get like as a TM. It's not a tutor anymore, right? You used to have to go to these tutors and trade them the right amount of shards. Yeah, like Joshua said, at one point, like red shards used to be 40k a piece, to give you an idea. Things have changed so much, dude. It's really interesting. It's very nostalgic to me to think on this stuff. It's nothing's really like, I think things have changed majority for the better. I think Pokemon's a much better game nowadays. It's very interesting to think about how it used to be in a lot of ways. I'd love to play old PokeMMO, to be honest. Dude, if the devs have like a saved copy of it, I would love if there was like a private server or some sort of downloadable. I would love to play 2013, 2014 PokeMMO just for like a day or so. I wouldn't play it like long term. It's not a better game, but it would be really fun and nostalgic. And oh my God, doing a video on that and showing off what it used to be like, I would adore that, man. Man, that'd be so cool. Yo, only 4.5 hours left in the stream, boys. That's not too bad, dude. That's pretty good. Let's fucking go, man. We're getting through it. Shout out to Gen 1 King over on Twitch really quick. I just heard that he lost a Shiny Shelgon in the Safari Zone in the final few hours of Safari Week for a lot of time zones for a lot of people. Rip GG's, man. That is a crazy Shiny to encounter and then lose. Much loved him. Gen 1 King on Twitch. Bro's been streaming a lot on Twitch recently. Really cool guy. Yeah, this is a great way to put it, Xerex. PokeMMO is so good when you have to engage in different activities to achieve your goal. That's why I love the Iron Man account. Yes, it's similar, very similar to Oldschool RuneScape as well. I love the Iron Man on PokeMMO because if I want to get a catching Breloom, right? I have to go farm Shroomish. I have to breed the Pokemon up. Oh, to breed it, I have to go farm Everstones. I have to then buy the braces. I have to go make money, Jimmy runs, to get the money to buy the braces. Okay, now that I have my Breloom bred, right? I have to EV train, XP train. Oh, and then also on top of all of this, you have to like go heart scale farm if you want to teach it things. Go buy false swipe. Also, if it's a poison heal catching Breloom, you have to go BP farm. So do like Battle Frontier or Elite Foot. You have to do like 10 different things minimum just to get a catching Breloom. Whereas on a main account, you would do Jimmy runs to make money, buy the Breloom. That's it. Like on a main account, everything comes down to Pokeyen to a fault. Whereas on an Iron Man account, Pokeyen's important. You need to do money making, but you also need to do a bunch of other things. If PokeMMO is monotonous to you, even though Iron Man account is more of a grind, if PokeMMO is monotonous to you, if you just feel like you're making money, and that's all you ever do, and you're making money to make money and blah, 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 I can't encourage you enough to try an Iron Man account. It's because it's going to force you to do other areas and other activities in the game, and you find out how much you love those activities. Alrighty, fellas, it is about that time. Either your least favorite or most favorite part of the stream recap. It's time for the Movietrouski takes. How are we doing? My name's Patrouski. I watch a lot of movies, probably about one a day on average. I don't know a lot about movies. I'm no movie expert. I'm no movie snob. I just like movies. I've been watching a lot about them. That's it. So let's just go ahead and jump into my opinions, my takes over on Letterboxd. You can follow me. My name is Patrouski on Letterboxd. If you want to see what movies I'm watching, see my dumb little reviews, and see my very strong opinions and thoughts, okay? So, me and my wife watched the whole trilogy recently, or the whole franchise, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and then 28 years later in theaters for the very first time. We were really fortunate to actually go watch 28 days later in theaters for the very first time as well. It was a really, really cool experience. I love watching re-releases like that for the first time. It's been super, super cool. I love going to the theater and stuff a lot, right? 28 weeks later is simultaneously an amazing movie with a great plot. It's a zombie movie, if you don't know. While also being one of the most frustratingly written movies of all time. It's so good. It constantly, 28 weeks later has amazing directing, amazing camera work, similar to 28 days later. They do like, if there's like a van or like a vehicle rolling up to a location, they do like 3 different shots where it'll be like one overview shot, one in the car shot, and then one like camera on the ground with the car like roll, and it looks so good. They do so many different shots. It's clear they use so many different cameras for every single little instance. It's really fucking crazy, and the high effort is beautiful. However, I constantly, the way I feel about this movie is the way I feel about the whole franchise, the whole like 28x later franchise. They know where they want the story to go, and where it goes is really cool and amazing, but for some reason they don't know how to get there. So like, no spoilers for any of these reviews, but they go into step 3 way too fucking quickly in this movie. They just like jump into it out like so abruptly, and it just makes no sense. They gave no time to develop, and it really hurt the movie. It's a very, very good zombie flick. It's something worth watching. I think 28 days, 28 weeks, and then 28 years later is the best one in my opinion, the newest one. Definitely all worth watching, but severe strengths and severe weaknesses in these movies, in my opinion. Trouble with the Curve. Trouble with the Curve is a weird Clint Eastwood movie. It's a movie about baseball and about throwing a curveball. Very simple, like, baseball movie, all about how important it is to, like, throw a curveball. And it's kind of about, like, curveballs in life, and there's some, like, analogy there, but it's a really simple, weird, funny movie. It's not very good, but it's a baseball. I love sports movies. It's Clint Eastwood, Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake is in this, and then Matthew Lillard, aka fucking what's his name from Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, it's a weird movie, weird cast. It's a guilty pleasure. I gave it a 3 out of 5, which is a 6 out of 10. I gave 28 Weeks Later a 3.5 out of 5, which is a 7 out of 10 for reference. Next up, 28 Years Later. 28 Years Later was a really unique, really grim. It's like kind of a hard watch. Really grim movie. A lot about death. Very similar zombie movie. This movie, I watched it in theaters, which immediately intensifies everything. But holy fuck, bro. This movie literally had some of the best, like, tension and, like, thrill I've ever seen in a movie, in my opinion. The first half of this movie, I was on edge. I was, like, so scared something insane was going to happen for the first 45 minutes of this movie, to the point where it was, like, exhausting. They did such a good job on the tension. It was exhausting, and thankfully they knew to take a break from that exhaustion, thankfully, right? You meet this really crazy character. Oh, who's he played by? You meet this really crazy character played by, oh, what's his name? I don't know the actor, excuse me, but he's like a famous Britopian actor. The main character in Conclave, Ralph Fiennes? Apologies. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his game, so apologies. Really talented British actor. Really, really talented guy. He's the cook, I believe, the main chef in the menu. Okay, really menacing, like, good actor, and he's a really fucking good character. My favorite character by far in this movie, so watch out for him. And it's just it's a very grim movie. It's really he plays Voldemort. Oh shit, really? Holy fuck. He plays it. This movie is like very like what do you like, flesh and bone is the best way to put it without spoiling. It's really, really intense, like what they do, in my opinion. But it's a really beautiful movie reminder to cherish every day. It's a typical, like, cherish every day, like, we all die at some point, similar to, like, Final Destination's themes. So similar to that. Next up, really, I'm not gonna talk about it for a long time. Jurassic Park. I had like a 1-line review of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is an objectively beautiful movie, and this is a rewatch. I had it as a 4-star movie prior to this, and I think it's closer to a 4-star movie than what I gave it, which is a 3. I gave 28 Years Later a 4.5, by the way, a 9 out of 10. I really liked 28 Years Later. Jurassic Park, it's probably realistically more closer to a 4-star movie. The 3-star is just my opinion and my feelings while rewatching it. It just doesn't have the magic anymore. I think it's a great movie. It did a lot of amazing things for the first time. It's just not, it doesn't have the magic that it used to. That's it. And that's my only, no disrespect to the Jurassic Park fans. I think it's a really, really good movie, amazing movie, obviously, but it's not there for me anymore personally. Elio is a cute new Disney Pixar movie, all about a kid who wants to be abducted by aliens. And usually when I watch, there's a lot of movies about kids who feel like they don't belong. And what I expect when I watch a movie like this is an insufferable character who's really annoying, who feels like he doesn't belong, and then by the end of the movie he realizes he actually does belong, and that's the whole plot. But this movie was actually like, I was really impressed. A lot more than that. It wasn't just, oh, kid thinks he doesn't belong but finds out he does belong. It was like, oh shit, kid thinks he doesn't belong, but then finds out that actually most of his flaws and problems are from a lack of empathy to his parental figure. And it goes into like him like not understanding what his parent is trying to do for him, and he learns to feel this deep sense of loneliness, and like eventually realizes that all humans have this internal deep sense of loneliness you have to kind of conquer and fill the void. And then he realizes he actually belongs. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I can't say stuff without spoilers, but this movie was like way more layered than I expected from a really stupid, I shouldn't say stupid, from like a stereotypically stupid kids movie. I thought it was way more. It did a really good job of usually with like, oh, kid feels like it doesn't belong movie, that's what it is, right? But this movie was a lot of like, kid feels like it doesn't belong, and also parental figure feels like a failure because the parental figure can't make the kid feel understood. And it's a very, I don't have kids, but it's a very like parent focused movie, more than you would think, kind of in the background to some extent. So I was really impressed. I really liked Elio. I gave it a 4.5 out of, I almost gave it a 5, honestly. I was back and forth. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which is a 9 out of 10, and a like. So then with 20 years later. So pretty good movies we watched this week, fellas. Give me your movie suggestions, your own, disagreements, etc. All your movie opinions in the comments. I genuinely just love to hear it. I'm really into movies right now, so it's always cool to hear people's thoughts. Thanks for watching. Yo, shout out to Sean in chat. You have the IGN Jerk? That's awesome. Jerk. People got so many cool IGNs with the recent username release. Someone in chat just got second place in the Sinnoh catch event. I'm not there because I don't have Sinnoh unlocked, obviously, but shout out to you, dude. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. It's crazy how many people in my Twitch chat, like, it's really cool to see the massive community come together, and a lot of people in my community end up winning or placing in a lot of catch events. It's fucking cool to see, man. Nice work. Nice job. Congratulations. Here, I have no idea the answer to this question, so let's honestly run some math. It'll be a lot of fun. Official Eagle says, for Shiny Awards, you reckon how many Leppa stacks a player should prepare? I'm going to assume you are a hyper, like, serious endgame hardcore player, okay? And if that's you, and it depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're a hyper endgame player, you're probably doing a bunch of egging, but then you're also probably Leppa ×5 hoarding, or single shunting while you're egging. You're like egg ticking, right? That's the hyper end game strats, right? So you're asking about Leppas. Let's assume that you're doing Leppa ×5 hordes and egging at the same time, okay? You're probably only gonna get about 14 hours a day in of Leppas versus like 2 hours of it's gonna be like doing egging, probably less than maybe like 12 or 13. I'm gonna assume 14. Let's say you aren't egging, whatever, right? Let's say you do 14 hours a day of Leppa. You're a super hardcore like end game insane grinder for Shiny Wars, right? 14 hours a day. I think you use what, 110 Leppas an hour, I believe. So you would do that by 110, get 1,540 Leppas per day, okay? How much is that? Times 800. So that's 1.2 million Pokeyen per day, right? That's if you're, that's a, egg can be more expensive. Let's do 1,540. Shiny Wars is a month long. It's 28 days specifically. Times 28. If you are a hyper endgame serious shunter, you're going to want 43,120 or so Leppas, right? You would do that times 800. You would need about 35 million Pokeyen in Leppas if you plan to Leppa shunt all of Shiny War. And that's alongside allowing time for egging and hatching eggs and stuff like that. Around 43,000 Leppas. Great question. Fun math. Scary math as well. Yeah, this is kind of it's a long ass stream, so we gotta talk about a bunch of stuff. This is an extra credit extended Movietrouski take, okay? I recently reviewed the Big Lebowski, and I had a very, very, very hot take, okay? I wish I didn't. I wish I liked the Big Lebowski. Go watch my stream recap. I forget what number it was, to be fair. But I gave a take, and I gave the Big Lebowski a 1 out of 10. I just vehemently did not enjoy it, and I wish I did. The Big Lebowski seems like a movie I would love, right? Big Lebowski fans were so chill with my... Like, I've never seen a fan base be like, that's not cool, dude, or like, that's just your opinion, man. The Big Lebowski fan base was the chillest fan base I've ever seen about me providing a disagreeing opinion. When I gave Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy, I think I rated like one of them like a 2.5 out of 5, so like a 5 out of 10. People lost their fucking minds. When I gave, I think it was like the Star Wars A New Hope or whatever. Is it the fifth one? I think it's the fifth one. I think the fifth one I gave like a 2.5 out of 5, which is a 5 out of 10. People unironically unsubscribed. People were fucking pissed, bro. Star Wars fans hated that I gave Star Wars a 5 out of, not even a 5 out of 10. The Big Lebowski fans were just chill as fuck about it. I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting. Shout out to the Big Lebowski community for being as chill as the dude. Star Wars fans, I respect your passion. I don't know, man. What would Yoda say? What would Yoda say? I'm just saying. All right, welp, we are so back. My power went out. It flickered for a solid like minute or so. It went out. It was pitch black in here. Thankfully, only a minor setback. My timer did reset. I have to go see what it was at because no, don't get excited. We are not resetting the timer fully as much as chat would love that. I'm gonna have to go see what we were. I think around 16 hours. I think, if I recall correctly. So I'm gonna get the timer reset up. Thankfully, only a small setback. 15 hours, 54 minutes. That's where we're at. Positive news. I can't believe this happened. Firstly, the thunderstorms outside and stuff. So I don't know. It's not that crazy, but positive news. My encounter counter didn't break. And I think that is legitimately the only time in my entire PokeMMO career where my power's gone out or my computer has shut down in an instant out of nowhere and my encounter counter didn't break. So I don't know what caused that, but I'm going to take that as, you know, a gift from Arceus. That was super lucky that my encounter counter didn't break. And hopefully, I don't know, the electrical jolt to my computer system is going to give me increased Articuno luck. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, only a minor setback. Could have been a lot worse. We'll take that. Yeah, a lot of people are asking me in chat right now, like thoughts on investments and should I buy Mysterious Balls or Mysterious Balls good short term right now, XP candies, XP items, etc. Please make your own financial decisions. Don't take this as like insane financial advice, but from previous experience, I can say I strongly don't recommend making investments right now. Most investments, most sealed product, most things actually drop when a new event drops, right? So this coming October, when the Halloween event drops, if you buy Mysterious Balls now, they are most likely going to drop in price as people sell out of their investments from previous years to buy the new spicy fancy investments from this year. Don't be that person who invests in stuff now, and I don't recommend being that person who panic sells stuff when the event starts because they want to buy the new hot pumpkin outfit or whatever, right? Like, if you want to sell stuff, sell it now. Now is a good time to sell out of investments, in my opinion, but I don't recommend buying. I really strongly recommend just holding your Pokeyen until event season and then buying out during bottom outs. It's just the worst time possible to make investments. Investments are very important in PokeMMO. Please wait until events is my current recommendation, but obviously please make your own financial decisions. If you miss out on a big investment right now because I say don't invest, like don't blame me, like do what you think is right, okay? One man's opinion is just one man's opinion. Markets are extremely complicated. I do not know what will for sure happen. Best case scenario, I'm 50% accurate. And that's like if I'm doing really well, you know? So, yeah. Great questions, though. Dude, that's kind of crazy. I didn't even think about that, Opstrich. I just said, you know what? I can't wait to end stream and wake up tomorrow because then I can at least do a Jimmy run and that'll shake up my content. And Opstrich said in chat, man is looking forward to a Jimmy run. That's how you know he's cooked. I didn't even think about that. That is kind of fucked up. I've been running back and forth. I've officially been live for 13 hours and 55 minutes. I've been running back and forth for at least 10 of those hours. Going for a legendary, going for Articuno, nothing. Jack squat. We're just still here, man. We are just still here. All right, fellas. 3 seconds left on the timer. As you can see, boom. We just reached our first 14-hour checkpoint in the stream. I am now legally allowed to sleep. I might try to stream for a little bit longer, but I can now end the stream if I want to. The rule is I have to stream for at least 14 hours, and then I'm allowed to go sleep. But if I want to do a little bit more, I can. So we're going to try to knock off as much time as possible off of this timer. I'm also going to go ahead and take this time, actually, to add. We should be at 14 hours. I'm going to add the 181 unadded minutes over on my my notepad document. So we're gonna go ahead and add 14. So it's 3 hours. We're gonna go up to 17 hours and 1 minute. Boom. And now start the time. There we go. That is the new timer officially set. It's been a journey. It's been a blast. We've ran back and forth for many, many hours and gotten nothing. No Articuno. No legendary. We played a catch event. We have an EV train. We have an XP train. We haven't made any progress aside from running back and forth. It's driving me a little crazy. But you know what? That's PokeMMO. That's all you can do. And you know what? One of these days, if we keep running back and forth long enough, we're going to have a story. We're going to have a memory. Let's keep going until we get that fucking memory, boys. Alrighty, fellas, we need a banger to end it out on. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for day one. I don't even know if the stream recaps are going to be in different segments. If I'm going to be, it's going to be like the huge 40 or whatever, 28 hour plus, 30 hour plus streamathon in one stream recap. I think it's what I might do, or separate. I'm not sure. But this is the end of day one. I'm going to go get some rest. We made it, boys. We streamed for we streamed for 14 and a half hours today. Had a lot of fun. Did everything we could. Pushed, you know, as hard as we could. I could have been more efficient on my encounters, you know, could always do better, but didn't get anything. Did make a memory today. Well, I guess we made some memories of talking, and you know what? That's pretty good if you ask me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not going to do the outro spiel because I'm going to do this all in one stream recap. That'll be the plan, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you after some sleep. I'll see you after some rest, and hopefully I'll see you with a legendary Pokemon tomorrow, because if not, we're going to enter a world of pain. We're going to enter a situation where I'm going to be live Tuesday with no legendaries from June at all. Missed out on all of them. And then hopefully trying to recoup something with a Zapdos or a, you know, getting good luck next month. So I'm going to go rest up. I'm not making any sense anymore. I'm not talking words very well. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.